morning, everybody. AFRI Jodhpur extends you all a very warm welcome in this sun city. Now, I would like to request our chief guest, Shri Siddhant, the 1983 batch IAS officer, our special guests, Shri Samir Rastogi, Shri Roshan Jaggi, and Ashish Kumar Bhaji, all 1988 batch IFS officers, along with our director, Shri Amar Baloj, and co-director, Dr. Tarun Kant, to please take their seat on the stage. Thank you, sir. Carrying forward the tradition of hospitality, I request our director, sir, to please welcome our chief guest with a safa and flower bouquet. Now request our group coordinator research, Dr. Tarun Kant, to please welcome Shri Samir Rastogi, sir. I now request Dr. M.T. Hegre, Senior Scientist and Head, SF&M Division, to please welcome Shri Roshan Jaggi, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Shri R.K. Gupta, Chief Technical Officer, to welcome Shri Ashish Kumar Bhatt, sir. Thank you everybody. To make this occasion a blessed one and to kindle the lamp of knowledge and wisdom, I invite our honorable chief guests and all the dignitaries on the stage to light the lamp.
नहीं कोनी मार देना बरोबर नहीं रही नहीं you are taking video live
community service. I now invite Shri M.R. Balash, TCCF IFS 1990 batch, West Bengal cadre, and Director AFRI for his welcome address.
Namaskar and good morning to all. Welcome to Surinagari, the new city of the Jodhpur. Respected Sri Siddharji, ex-IS and Chairman, Jute Foundation, Government of India, the chief guest of the today's inaugural function, very senior forest officials belong to 1988 batch on dais, Sri Ashish Kumar Bhatt, Sri Samir Rastogi ji, Sri Roshan Jaggi ji, and other resource persons, Dr. Vandana Arya, Sri Sonal Saab, and all participants of this training program, distinguished guests, AFRI colleagues, press and media persons, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming Honorable Sri Siddharji IS, retired officer from West Bengal cadre, 83 batch, today's chief guest and all other dignified guests to this inaugural function of 1 week refresher training course for IFS officers on integrated approach for sustainable development of fragile desert ecosystem during 12 to 16 December 2022 being held at AFRI today. On the behalf of DGI Secretary and AFRI family, I extend my heartiest welcome to all of you and also express my deep sense of gratitude for your gracious presence on this occasion. This year only 19 officers could participate against total 39 number of IFS officers nominated by Ministry of Environment and Forest. This is ever lowest participation, otherwise on an average, minimum 28 to 30 officers used to turn up to attend this training program. Today you all are in Jodhpur district, which is the land of nature lovers, the Bishnois, on 11th September 1730 AD, 363 Bishnois had given their life for the protection of Khedli, that is Proto-Piscine area, trees as Khedli village, which is hardly 20 kilometers away from this place. While opposing to Royal Army of Marwar, Srimati Amarhadevi Bishnoi was the first martyr to lay down her life with her 3 minor daughters by hugging the Khedri trees. AFRI is a hot destination for IFS trainees as it is successfully conducting the compulsory training program for IFS officers since 1988. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 and 21, the courses were conducted online, and last year in 2021, AFRI HITS and some other institutes were not allotted training program by MOM. So this training is being held offline after the gap of 3 years. AFRI Jodhpur had come into existence on 30th June 1987 to cater the forestry research need of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Daman, Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli. The mandate of this institute is forestry research for conservation of biodiversity and enhancement of the bioproductivity over its jurisdictional areas. To extend the research technologies among the stakeholders, 3 Van Vigyan Kendras were established, one at Bikaner, then Udaipur in Rajasthan, and one at Rajkot, Gujarat. One demonstration village also has been established at Indira Gandhi National Nahar Pariyojana, Ongar in Jaisalmer. To sensitize the public for the forest, wildlife and environment issues, the young generations, school children and teachers from the KVs and NVs have been associated with the ICFRI's Prakriti programs through MOUs. For mutual cooperation in research activities, ICFRI also has signed MOUs with ICAR and many other organizations, universities and institutes. AFRI Forest Research Institute, Jodhpur is one of the premier institutions under the umbrella of Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education, which is an autonomous body under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. In September 19, during the first meeting of the COP14, which was held at Noida, Delhi, in India, wherein Honorable PM of India has declared ICFRI as the Center of Excellence for combating desertification. Thus, ICFRI and its institutions now have international concerns about the desertification and other important environmental issues. As per the said COP, Honorable PM Government of India had announced the land degradation neutrality target for India. Total 96.4 million hectares, which is a 29% of the total land, is under threat of desertification. And Honorable Prime Minister has set the target to reclaim it, which is 26.4 million hectares by 2030. This is India's target to neutralize the degraded land. ICFRI can play an important role to achieve this goal. This institute is focusing its forestry research mainly in biodiversity conservation, tree improvement program, biotechnology, development of technology packages for afforestation of state sites like the sand dunes, salt affected areas, mined lands, management of forests and plantations, non-timber forest products, biofertilizers and biopesticides, integrated pest management, site-specific agroforestry models and climate change adaptation and mitigation with overall objective of the conservation of biodiversity and enhancement of bioproductivity, with special emphasis on arid and semi-arid regions. For the rejuvenation of the 30 major rivers system of India, ICFRI was assigned with the task of preparation of DPRs of 13 rivers. AFRI also was given the responsibility of writing the DPR of Luni River of Central and Western Rajasthan, which was completed in 2021. Luni's DPR is accepted for the layout in rupees 534 crores. It will be implemented by the central government through concerned state forest departments. In 2021, MOF and CC Government of India has released the 3 high-quality system clones, ADS1, DS2 and DS4 of system, which are being multiplied through vegetative multiplication gardens at AFRI Jodhpur. Many other important works have been accomplished by AFRI, which will be highlighted by course director through PPTs and the short films. Thanks to chief guest and all other officials on dais for sparing time for this program. My team of officers Scientists and staff is always on tours to serve you better. So I also thank them for making all sorts of arrangements and for participation and the guests. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to once again extend my warm welcome to you all to this inaugural function and thank you for your kind presence here. I am sure your stay here will be intellectually stimulating and physically relaxing. Again, I wish you all a pleasant stay here during this refresher course training program and my heartiest greetings to all of you. Thank you immensely. Namaskar, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, sir. To give a brief insight about the training program and course details, I would like to now invite the course director, Dr. Tarun Kant.
A very good morning and a warm welcome to this blue city or sun city Jodhpur. Respected Chief Guest Shri Siddharth, ex-IAS officer and Chairman the Jute Foundation, Director AFRI Shri PCCF, West Bengal Cadre, and all the distinguished dignitaries on dais, all the senior IFS officers, and all the participating officers, as well as all the resource persons, particularly Shri Sonal Sahab and Dr. Ranjana Arya ma'am, and all the participating officers, as well as all the AFRI officials present here today. It's indeed our proud privilege to host this 1 week compulsory training program for the officers of the Indian Forest Service here at AFRI Jodhpur, and as course director it's my duty to brief you about the course and what is the structure of the course and give an outline. As we all are aware, an important program of the Research and Training Division of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change is the scheme for capacity building in forestry sector. The scheme aims to cover the whole gamut of training and exposure needed for the forestry sector personnel as well as the member of the civil society in the country. For the Indian Forest Service officers, various flagship programs are sponsored by the ministry from time to time and are usually organized at the premier institutions of the country, and with the aim of augmenting and updating the knowledge and skill for managing the natural resources of the country through organizing specialized tailor-made courses. And this one is one of the courses of the ministry. This one week course from 12 to 16 December 2022 for the IFS officers has a theme: integrated approach for sustainable development of fragile desert ecosystem. And this is the 14th year, since last 14 years, there was one gap year and 1 year where we have online presented the course. And otherwise it is 14 years that AFRI has been organizing this course. This is the 14th one. The objective of this course are to get acquainted with the desert ecosystem, resource availability and people livelihood in the region, to appreciate the need of water management, including rainwater harvesting and watershed aspects in drylands, to get acquainted with the remote sensing and GIS and their utilization in forestry sector with special emphasis on drylands, to know the alternative farming and value addition of forest products of dry land, particularly the medicinal plants, to understand application of biotechnology in conservation and increasing productivity of these stressed ecosystems, to understand and discuss management aspects of arid salt lands for sustainable management and sustained production, to know important export-oriented medicinal plants of the dry region, and to share experiences of trainees on the topics under training. The course content of the program has been designed to accommodate both the lectures and interactive sessions with adequate scope for field visits. The lectures and the interactive sessions will be usually of 60 minutes duration, and sufficient time will be there particularly for experience sharing with special emphasis on case studies. There will be 2 days of field visit covering Jaisalmer district to understand the harshness of the climate and sustainability aspects of livelihood through afforestation activities, sentinel stabilization work, as well as the IGNP area and ecotourism aspects of the sentinels. The resource persons, both in-house as well as eminent subject matter experts, have been invited with vast experience in their respective fields of soil and water conservation to biotechnology to all other aspects which will be covered under this training program. It is expected that there will be a good discussion and sharing of experiences between the resource persons and the participants. This year, as Director has already told, we have only 19 participants and they are covering a total of 12 states and UTs of the country. And the details of the program have already been separated to everyone in the bags that have been given. The program sheet is already there. And I would just like to once again reiterate another point that on the last day, that is on the 16th, there is one lecture in the morning session, and then one talk from one of the participants. We would like someone to volunteer for a lecture or a talk, because that has also been told by the ministry that one lecture or two lecture from the participants should also be there, particularly in terms of some case study or experience sharing. So we invite you you can directly contact me or the team from AFRI for giving the name so that we can arrange the logistics of your lecture. And the first 2 days will be the lecture board sessions. The third and fourth day will be the trip, and last 5th day we'll have the valedictory at the end. And we hope to see the DG IFRI as our chief guest and chairperson for the session. With this, I once again, on behalf of the Director AFRI, I welcome you all for this one-week program, and I am sure that your stay will be comfortable and the program will be rich, having rich experience. With this, thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So now we have to release the course material and AFRI Jodhpur, which is a quarterly magazine published by AFRI. So I request.
लेता रहो हाँ रेडी बैक साइड लेने दो हाथ हाँ खोलो ना लास्ट वाला खुले रुको हाँ रेडी टेको थैंक यू
Answer. We have with us very senior IFS officers. Among them, first I would like to request Shri Samir Rastogi, 1988 batch IFS officer of AFRI cadre, for his few words. I would like to give a brief introduction on him. He did his BE in Civil Engineering from the University of Roorkee in 1986 and then MSc in Forestry from ICFRE. Then he qualified in 1988 IFS exam, and then he served in the Forest Department in various capacities. And he has also served as Chief Business Officer of Rashtriya Chemicals and Fertilizer Limited, Mumbai, and the Department of Fertilizer. So.
Good morning, everyone. There is a small correction. Presently, I am working as CEO in Rashtriya Chemicals. So I have come from there. Respected Shri Siddharth, my batchmates Bhaksha, Nirvisa, Mr. Balot, the director, and my fellow IFS officers from various places in the country, and the staff of AFRI. It's a very special moment for at least for 88 batch officers like two others, because of two reasons. When we came for that West India tour in 1989, this institute did not exist. So somehow we have missed attending, visiting this institute. And the second was we keep hearing about the good work that AFRI is doing in the field of desert reclamation and plantation of areas in desert areas. So it was always our wish to come here, and I'm grateful to MOEA for nominating us to attend this training. Yesterday when I was coming from Mumbai by flight, most of you must have noted that there is hardly any tree cover here. Something that I'm not used to seeing, like being Himachal Ghada. But suddenly we see a green area. So yesterday Mr. Bharosh told us that that was AFRI, actually from the area. And we must congratulate him for maintaining such a green patch within surrounded by a great desert area. Mr. Bharosh, I hope all of us will have a very intellectually stimulating, as Mr. Bharosh says, and a physically relaxing stay here. Thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great time.
Thank you very much, sir. We have with us Roshan Jaggi, sir, from Jammu and Kashmir cadre. He is Director Social Forestry in his cadre and HOD of Jammu Forest Division, and he has been also appointed as Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Ayush for a tenure of 5 years. I invite him for a few words.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. Respected Siddharthi, and of course my classmates, Ashish and Sunil, and Director of the Institute of Approach, and esteemed participants. It's a very pleasant to be in Jodhpur this morning. Weather is also pleasant, and for me, I come from the Himalayan state of Jammu and Kashmir. It's a different ecosystem, and this is altogether a different ecosystem. So these are two diverse ecosystems, and I feel really, excited. Especially, we have a national action program on climate change. And desertification is of course one of the challenges we face at the national and also at the international level. Institute is doing a wonderful job how to combat the desertification, and therefore we look forward to have some good interactions on the subject. And of course we all forest officers have a very significant role in the coming years to play so far the climate change challenges are concerned. These are the increasing challenges, and we need to do more and more. But this type of sharing of experiences, sharing of knowledge, of course, augments our capacity to contribute towards this challenge. And we are really thankful to the director and his team who is working here. And this is of course a very prestigious, one of the prestigious institutes of the country under ICFRE. And someone referred to the alternate farming under new agricultural program. I worked in the Ministry of Ayush for a pretty long time, and Rajasthan is one of those states which are doing very good job in the private sector so far the medicinal plant cultivation is concerned. We have very good models here and the progressive farmers who have really done a good job, and we in fact picked up certain good models of the medicinal plants for its further transfer to the other states. So this is an occasion for all of us. We have very young officers from the different cadres, and of course we are also here. So let's make these 4-5 days a good interactive time, and so thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Shri Ashish Kumar Bhatt is from Chhattisgarh Forest Department and currently serving as Secretary Planning, Economics and Statistics with additional charge of Director, Chhattisgarh State Tribal Research Institute, Raipur, and Secretary, School Education, Chhattisgarh. I would now like to request him for a few words.
Sri Siddharth sir, Director of the Institute, Sri Baloch, our course director, Dr. Khan, my batchmates from Jammu Kashmir, Sri Ravi and Sri Samir Rastogi. When I got the nomination from the ministry, and somebody put a question that what is the use of, because you come from the state of Chhattisgarh, which has got nearly 50% forest area. So what use it will be of you to learn something about the arid forest management? So I have to convince my additional chief secretary that this is something that is called vertical integration. When the program was envisaged, started long back, I think in the 90s. That is the vertical integration. And what is the vertical interaction? I said that yes, we go to the, basically we all are forest officers and we know forest management in different states, be it a riverine state, be it a desert state, be it a Himalayan state. The management principles are the same, but the sustainability. And secondly, that you can have a sharing of ideas with the young officers, with the senior officers, and the colleagues from the different departments, different states. So that will be an enriching environment, and I'm sure that this program will expose us to different types of management activities being done in different states. And particularly when we, this is my second visit after academic days. We had come on East West 2 in '89, and after that I am coming for the first time to Jodhpur. At that time, there was quite hot topic that how to stop desertification and what should the forest department's role will be. But as Samir said, that when we landed in Jodhpur and while coming from airport to this place, it was a pleasant surprise for us that earlier we had during academic days, we were told that this place, this Thar desert area has only hilly trees. So I was having a talk with Dr. Anita, that I am pleasantly surprised that I can see neem and different type of species which are there in other states also. So I think that is the effort that this institute has put in, that instead of khilji, you can see so many kinds of species which are there in the campus and in the city also. Briefly, just I would like to say about Chhattisgarh. We have got a very ambitious program called Narwa, Garwa, Ghurwa, Badi. That is an ambitious program of the Chhattisgarh government. And Forest Department is actively participating. Narwa means rejuvenation of our nalas and rivulets in the forest areas. And Garwa means our livestock. Ghurwa means the composting of that, whatever we get from that. And Badi means that every village, every household has a small body in their house, so that where they can do this thing. And Forest Department is actively participating through the CAMPA, the rejuvenation of these forest rivulets. And I think for last 4 years, I think Rama will just correct me, I think we have spent nearly 400 or 500 crores for that. More than 500 to 400 crores. And most of the nalas and rivulets have been demarcated and lot of structures have been constructed, and consequently the water table has increased a lot. And there is appreciable change in the, particularly in the central Chhattisgarh, the water table has risen by I think 10 feet somewhere. They have done the study. And Forest Department is really actively participating in that. So this is, I think, this is one of the very ambitious program. On the basis of that, we have got this rural industrial parks. Besides this MFPs, we are doing nearly a business of more than 500 crores. That is collection of Tindu Patta and other 15 types of manmade forest produce. Chhattisgarh is the number one state which has got 70% of MFP have been collected by the state of Chhattisgarh in the whole of the country. Under the aegis of Ministry of Environment and Forest on tribal, they have allocated certain funds for that. And Chhattisgarh has bought 70% of the total MFP bought throughout the India, all over the India. And this 400 crores MFP, whatever is done, the state government doesn't keep any even a single rupee on that. It is only given back to the primary collectors. The state government has also embarked on, the forest department has been given the responsibility of purchasing the millets. And sir, we have already purchased nearly millets of 100 crores worth of it. So the state government has reposed its faith on forest department. It is the forest department which can do this huge work, because they have got a network of samitis, primary producers, primary samitis, and they have not given this to the food department, although there is a procurement of 100 lakh ton, 1 lakh ton, 50 ton of paddy is procured every year. And the use that the food department does that. But purchasing of millets have been entrusted to the forest department. And in addition to that, for this whatever envisaged in NGGB, the Narwag Gurwag Party scheme, Chhattisgarh Herbals have developed its own brand, and the primary collectors in the tribal, mostly tribal areas, they are making so many products, not only collection of honey, not only collection of other medicinal plants and all that. In each district, the mart has been established, through which the primary producers are getting lot of, and you will be surprised to know that the state government has already done an MOU with a French company where this mahua flowers are being exported to London, into Paris, and they will be making a special vodka out of that. So, Rama, I am correct? Sir. And also to America also. To America also. And Forest Department, that is our federation, they have done an MOU with another private entrepreneur for processing of millets. So, sir, actually I was, before coming to the Forest Department, I was looking after the Commerce Industry Department also. And through that, we did a lot of this MOUs with the private companies. And there's a place called Kondagaon in Bastar district, where we have already established this millet processing plant, and it is already under production. So, to Forest Department, that is upliftment of our tribal areas, tribal people, through forestry, is a unique example, I think, that the Forest Department has put up. And I think I request all of you from the different states to visit Forest Department, see the work, not only of the Forest Department, but our MFP Federation. And you will find a different type of activities there. Okay, sir? I think I have spoken too much, and I hope, sir, my interaction with our colleagues from the Forest Department will be very fruitful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Our chief guest, Shri Siddhant Singh, sir, is ex-IES. He did he's a native of Rupawas, Pali, Rajasthan. Did his graduation from St. Stephen College, and he qualified All India Services in 1983. In 1990, he did his post-graduation from the University of Glasgow in Development Economics. And he had contributed a lot in the field of forestry and environment, and I would like to highlight some of them. He encouraged extensive afforestation drive that resulted in state winning Paul Getty Award. As a tea board chairman, he encouraged sustainable practices and introduced a code for pest control for limited the chemical residues in the tree. Besides visiting all national parks in India, he travelled widely in the world to visit national parks and forests, including the first organized national park in the world, Kruger National Park in South Africa. He keenly observed and studied the animal-human conflict in the context of development. Personally, he is a practicing progressive farmer. Besides undertaking seed production and introducing a new variety of traditional crops, and he was pioneer in bringing date palm farming in Pali district by setting up a plantation of 500 plants over 3 hectares. In his administrative services, he has served as Member Secretary, Rural Development Board, Ministry of Textile, Government of India, as District Magistrate, Jalpaiguri, West Bengal, as Chief Principal Secretary, Darjeeling Gorkha Hill Council, as Director, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, as Advisor, Agriculture and Marine Products and Commercial Councillor, Indian Mission to EU, Brussels. He was Principal Secretary, IT and Biotechnology, Government of West Bengal, and Joint Secretary, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. He was Director General, DG S&D, Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, and Chairman, West Bengal Industrial Promotion Board. I would now like to invite our Chief Guest, Shri Siddhant Singh Ji, for his speech. Sorry, Shri Siddhant Singh Ji.
Finally, you got it right. Thank you, Mr. Director. Mr. Baloj, very senior officers of the Forest Service sitting on the dais, the other friends of the forestry fraternity, distinguished subject matter specialists, representatives from media, guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm good morning to you, very warm good morning to you. I'm indeed very happy to be here because I have a long relationship with AFRI. I have been visiting it since, I wouldn't say since its inception, but I've been involved with it for a very long time. As briefly mentioned, I have a place not far from here, and I often take plants from here. And of course, the date palm is not from here, but the other plants which I plant on our farm. And I must say, they do such a fantastic job that I almost always miss out. Their plants get lifted the first in Jodhpur. No other forest nursery, no other private nurseries, but it's AFRI plants, which people have full faith in it, and they picked it up. They pick it up from the nursery which they run here. So it's a great job they're doing, and as already mentioned, like the main area that is for Arid Forest Research Institute, I think they've done a great pioneering work, and I think it's in the fitness of things that this particular course on integrated approach for sustainable development of fragile desert ecosystem is being organized. Because there's no other institute, I think, which can do more justice to it. And also it gives me great pleasure to be interacting with such bright, dedicated, young and seasoned forest officers. You're so committed, I've seen the commitment of forest officers wherever I've been posted. In Bengal, in Jalpaiguri, also in Darjeeling, at the cost of the risk to their life, how they've served, not only from wild animals, but also from timber mafia, also from sometimes hair-raising experiences of their encounters with nationalites. It's amazing. And just as an aside, I would like to share with you that when I was growing up, from the family side, we were too involved or closely linked to, forests. So whenever anybody would ask me, what would you like to become in the future, I would invariably say a forester. Because I'm very, very, very fond of forests.
And that's the reason that the association has continued, and I have some very good friends in your service and some NGOs who are working in this field. So you are all aware of the ICFRE as the apex body in the National Forestry Research System, and I think it's needed for the holistic development of forestry research through need-based planning, promoting, conducting and coordinating research, education and extension, covering all aspects of forestry. The Council, through its though it's new, relatively new, but it's mature enough to address the new challenges which are emerging, and there are all the research for the emerging sectors like global and climate change, conservation of biological diversity, combating desertification, sustainable management, development of resources. Arid Forest Research Institute, that is AFRI, is one of those 9 constituent institutes of the Council, and they've been doing a fantastic job in their respective fields. AFRI, as I said earlier also, has been instrumental in catering to the forestry research needs of its mandated area, as mentioned by the director also, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Dadar, Nagar Haveli, Daman, Diu, and it has 5 divisions, namely the forest, ecology and climate change, genetics and tree improvement, forest protection, silviculture and forest management and extension division. And they mainly focus on research on technologies for afforestation of stress sites, soil, water, nutrient management, planting stock improvement, including biotechnology, nursery, plantation techniques, silviculture management, and integrated pest and disease management, non-timber forest products, biofertilizers, biofuels, biodiversity, climate change. I'm listing it all because I got the inputs from AFRI, but I wanted you to know about all the things that these people are doing here. Biodiversity and climate change, agroforestry as well, they are involved, and in the extension, education, and taking the various training programs. They're very active in these things also. I've seen some of their extension events also, which they organize in different districts. The institute has some exemplary work they've done on stabilization of sand dunes using surface vegetation. Now here, I would also like to tell the director and share with you also, jute plays a very important role. We have in geotextiles, jute has got a particular a carpet kind of thing, you can say, which if you put on a sand dune, or rather any land, whether it is the slope of a road or it is on the lining of an embankment or anywhere, it allows the natural grasses to take roots. On some of the hilly roads, they've tried in northeast also. If you put that net, it's made of jute of course, if you put that net and you sprinkle it with, they do it for the case of cement at some places. In Singapore, they do it with cement. But if you sprinkle it with seeds and fertilizer, seed of grass and fertilizer, very soon they start, they take root and they start sprouting grass. So that itself, stabilizes the sand dunes. I think we should try something together. It was mentioned that I'm the chairman of the Jute Foundation. Jute because I had worked in this area a lot, and it was there in West Bengal. This was my garden. It's actually a public trust, and now there is another institution. It's called IJIRA, the Indian Jute Industries Research Organization, who developed these other usage of jute. Normally, it goes under the Ministry of Textiles. So normally, it is one of the industry person who becomes the chairman of this institute. This is 85 years old and set up by Mr. Nehru. So this time, they've decided, I think in their wisdom, to make me the chairman. So I'll be taking over that institute also very soon. And then I think we'll be able to do more about how can jute help. Soil conservation, lot of uses you can put jute to. There was a particular scientist who was good at making, we call it jute mattresses, which you can put for soil, for preventing soil erosion. And you can stitch just about any kind of stubble, anything, any kind of grass in it, and the cover is that of loose ACL jute. And that gentleman he went to California and then never came back because the people there were so concerned about maintaining their own environment that they kept him there. They started a new factory or company with that, and now he's producing those things there. Unfortunately, in our own country, it's still taking time, because the industry can always take up these challenges provided there is a market. Otherwise, it's difficult. So, I'm sorry for this digression, but for sand dunes stabilization, rainwater harvesting for afforestation, soil and water conservation, rehabilitation of waterlogged areas, restoration of degraded hills, rehabilitation of saline, alkaline lands. These are all important things which happen in this region, as rightly mentioned by our friends from J&K and Chhattisgarh. They may not have these issues there, but this area has these issues. Also the effluent infected soil. What happens there? There are a lot of chemical industry there, textile industry. All the effluent goes into these rivers. Luni has become, you must have done it when it passes through our village also, so I know. These are the areas that they have been working, along with documented biological diversity of sacred groves. Another very interesting aspect. I doubt that other scientific institutions indulge in this kind of thing. We call it Oran in Rajasthan, and these are areas which are left untouched because of religious sentiments. And there you see what kind of diversity develops. It is so important. So if that can be tapped and it can be scaled or it can be replicated, that will be a great thing which they are already working on. The institute has also assessed the carbon stocks in the forests of Rajasthan, another very important contribution, and classified the forest soils. It has played a pivotal role in development of the DPR for the implementation of Luni, as you already mentioned. But this particular project, over a period of 10 years, it can lead to carbon sequestration to the tune of 0.62 million tons, and also reduce the water erosion and wind erosion to the extent of 1.28 million tons per year, and 6,750 tons per year respectively. That is for the wind erosion and the soil erosion, and also lead to regeneration of about 11 million man days of employment. That's true. If this thing can be done, I think it will change the area totally. AFRI has also contributed significantly to the area of tree improvement and gene mining. The institute has been instrumental in establishing provenance trials of acacia, Nilotica, Tecomella undulata, and Asgara indica, and has also developed macro-propagation as well as micro-propagation protocols for some of the major timber species. Successful field transfer of micro-propagated plants has been achieved in Asgara indica and Commiphora vigiti, which is Google. Genetic improvement of Asgara indica is already mentioned about the strains which have already been released, and these are particularly suitable for plantation in hot and semi-arid and subhumid tracts of Rajasthan and the uplands of Rajasthan. And from a 25-year rotation period, a total income of 29.4 lakhs is estimated from the mercantile logs of these clothes. So this is great. I think this is science paying for itself. The research paying for itself. The branded AFRI neem and leaf compost is being produced on a large scale by AFRI. You might have seen these compost pits as you walk around the campus here. And there are about 3,000 neem trees, as somebody just mentioned. It's really impressive, the number of trees that you find here. And it has changed the environment around. The temperature here is almost 2-3 degrees less in summer, and really helps people here. Google again is a very, very important medicinal plant, as he just mentioned about it. And I think they have done a great job on Google. is recently optimization of Google cell suspension cultures in a bioreactor format has been done, and work is underway for the production and Google Stonebridge Google cell biomass that they are also developing here. These are all tongue twisters for me also. I can only say as a layman that Google पे बहुत काम हो रहा है, which is very good. Google is very good material for medicinal values. Besides this work has also been done on post-harvest technology for lesser utilized timber species and valuation of NTFPs, which was just mentioned earlier. The institute has also developed effective techniques involving root treatment and silviculture measures to manage the mortality of khejri trees in Rajasthan. Khejri is a very valuable tree here in Rajasthan. The example of khejri was already given. A formulation of AFRI paste has been made, to attend to the galls in the khejri tree, and the institute itself, and through its One Vigyan Kendra, which the director just mentioned, has been active in extension as well as outreach, research activities, providing training, organizing trade fairs, exhibitions, farmer fairs, and pregnancy programs, and publication of various newsletters, brochures. We opened one right now. A demo village, Salawas, is nearby, so all their research, is being replicated there, and that can be demonstrated to people and whoever is interested. The institute, through its model nursery, provides quality planting material to forest department. I have already mentioned. This is really great job they are doing. So I think the director just mentioned, he told me also that this is one of the most attractive training among the IFS officers, and they like to come here. But I think due to the elections in some of the states, and some of the attendance is not up to the expectation this year. But they have been organizing these trainings here very successfully for a long time. The eminent resource persons having vast experience in their respective fields of soil and water conservation, management, utilization, agroforestry, value addition, climate technology, GIS and remote sensing techniques, biotechnology, medicinal plants have all been invited, and it is expected that it's going to lead to a very productive discussion among them, sharing of ideas, and between among the participants and the faculty also. The course program is a mix of lectures already mentioned as of there in the talk program. So I am really very happy to be here, and though I've just conveyed what I wanted to convey about the good work being done by AFRI, and I'm very happy that they've organized it. My congratulations to AFRI and the team who have put this course together, and the course director. But before, I think with the permission of the director, time permitting, I'd just like to share some of my ideas which are not directly linked to this, but related. Like in forestry and any other thing, you can say that everything is related, everything is linked. This is about man-animal, problems of what are the issues involved, in forest range areas. In fact, when we were attending our fifth phase training in the academy in Mussoorie, we were told to write a policy paper. So after we had done 1 week in Colombia, we came back for 3 weeks to the academy, and they said write one paper, policy paper, which is not related to what you are doing right now, which should not be related to the department you are holding, and it should also not be related to something which you have done recent past or something different. So idea is how can you put forward a policy matter. So I wrote a paper, and I wanted to make it not look like making out a case for some kind of culling. So I called it scientific management of wildlife and employment generation in forest range areas. Now I'll briefly tell you what it was. 5 minutes. See, the whole idea today, I think in Rajasthan people have seen, I have heard about it in other states also in UP, Haryana, everywhere. The number of animals have really mushroomed, especially the birds. Now you have blue bulls, आपको नीलगाय बोलेंगे तो कोई उसकी तरफ देखता भी नहीं है, but blue bulls, it's of the antelope species, and wild boars. Now they've become such a nuisance to the farmers. And who has the farms close to the forest fringe areas? The poorest of the poor people. So the land is not good. There's a lot of stony soil, or it's not flat. And in their land, if one night, a herd of blue bull comes or something, whatever they have sown, as it is, they can hardly sow anything. But if you do have rains and they plant something, it can be destroyed in one night by one herd. So it's a very difficult situation. I mean, I really feel bad for them. I've seen them in near my place also. I mean, come on, Munshi Premchand wrote Uski Ek Raat 100 years ago, in 1921. It's the same story going on today. If they don't guard their field for one night, the crops are gone. And it's okay, you have the fencing, etc. But the wild boar can dig under the fence and come inside. My one full year's crop was destroyed by a wild boar because nobody thought they'd be able to come in. And that time the date palms were also short, so they could just get on their hind legs and finish them. So I said, what can be done about this? If a particular forest has got, say, for example, optimum it can hold, say, 500 wild boars or 1,000 blue bulls. But if it gets to 5,000 and 10,000, what happens? What has been happening? They go out and they destroy the farming nearby. So I had suggested, and I didn't suggest it out of the blue, there is a particular program called Campfire. I don't know if you have come across that. The government of Zimbabwe in 1975 came out with a law where they have said that the wildlife or the wild animal, the wildlife stock of the country is not an asset of the government anymore. It's a communal asset. So as a result, there were areas which were outside the reserves where there was some unorganized wildlife. So how to sort of run those areas. So they came up with this program which is funded by USA. And it is called Campfire, which stands for Communal Area Management Program for Indigenous Resources. Campfire. And the basic concept of this area was that let the farmers who have got their land here, or the community who have got their land, use it for wildlife regeneration and reuse. So which actually means, and in our terms, what I mentioned in my paper was that anybody who's got a land of say 15 bighas of land, 10 bighas, Rajasthan being a state where people have a little more land but it's of no use in some of these areas. He cannot earn, in the best of years, 20,000-25,000. No, you can't. Even if he has 30-40 bighas of land, after 5 years, in a block of 5 years, 2 years, he can get an income of 20,000 upwards. Otherwise, not there. So what happens? We just ask these farmers, don't grow anything. Just let the natural vegetation grow, and then you decide every year, depending on the number of animals, that how many wild boars, how many blue bulls can be killed in this area. I know it sounds bad, but let us not fool ourselves. We are conducting all kinds of tests on animals, for developing medicines, and they are killed in many more cruel ways. And if you don't take care of this, then they will get killed in more cruel ways still by people. So you have that fixed number. Suppose a person gets one big wild blue bull or one big wild boar. There are foreigners who are ready to pay you $500, $1,000 easily. And you share this money with this farmer. He will become your forest ranger. You share this money with him, half, and the half of the money can go to the forest department, not to the consolidated fund. And there, because in any forest sanctuary that I have been to, you go there, the first thing they say, Can't do patrolling, not enough patrol. Can't do, proper fencing, not enough funds. So use it for those things by the forest people. And these villagers can use this money for developing small roads, culverts, or school, clinic, or whatever. This is exactly what is being done in California. And as a result, what happens that you maintain the right number of animals, you maintain happier animals, healthier animals, and you develop the areas around the forest in the process. You will develop house stay, it will give a huge boost to tourism. It has given in Zimbabwe. House stay, there will be guides, there will be taxi-walas who will come up, and the whole area can generate some economic activity. Because agriculture is not viable. And just by telling this poor man, you've got 20 years of land, now you are not eligible to get anything else, or, it's no point. So some kind of out-of-box thinking is required. I'm not making out a case for hunting or something. But how can you wish it away? You think the number will drop by itself? You think there will be more, there will be less breeding by these wild boars or blue bulls? No. It will keep on going up. In Rajasthan, I remember on the 2500th anniversary of Bhagwan Mahavir, hunting was totally banned. Now, it's difficult for a lot of people to accept the word or hear the word hunting. What I meant to say was that there was some system whereby the animals were kept in check, the number. But after that, there's been unprecedented growth. And there have been papers written on Seriska, the areas around Seriska, what has happened over. So since all of you, you are seniors, you can, consider about it, think about it. Somebody has to take some action about it. Otherwise, the policy makers are not taking or thinking about it for various reasons. This problem is not going to go away. This problem is going to increase. I'm not saying you do some totally, something which is out of box and it leads to bad results. I'll give you a small example. After that, I'll stop about how not to do something out of the box. Now, we had a friend. He was the chief engineer, family friend of Rajasthan Canal, Mr. Bhavani Singh. He said that while he was working on the canal, he came to a particular spot where there was a leak in the canal. As a result, a huge puddle was formed, and there was a water body there. And when it dried up, the seven grass, which is one of the most nutritious grasses of the desert areas, had sprung up like what should we say, like a forest. Huge, it became very tall, and so he was very happy. And they started, the animals started grazing, and everybody looked very happy. After 2 years of this kind of grazing, excessive grazing in that small patch of land, the entire root system of seven grass was destroyed. And after that, whether with water, whether with rain, seven grass never grew up there. So you have to be, again I'm linking it to your course, because since the whole idea is about how to develop desert areas and how to not disturb the desert ecosystem, you have to keep these things in mind. You have to be very, very careful how you touch a desert or how you introduce some new scheme. So we have to do things which are of course practical, but at the same time some kind of out-of-box thinking will also be required to meet the new challenges. I think today the world is facing lots of challenges. You have political instability, you have war, you have trade wars, and you have climate change. But these other things, war, trade wars, you get good phases, you get bad phases. But the climate change challenge remains. And I think in meeting this particular challenge, you people have a very, very important role to play. So I'm sure, these deliberations will give you some idea. I was very happy that, even before the beginning of your course, there was very good exchange of ideas from different parts of the country. So these trainings are meant for this kind of interaction, when you get to know about the good practices in different parts of the country and how you can get something out of it, what is the deliverable for your particular state or what particular work that you are doing. So I think with these words, I officially declare this course open, and also make a request to the director that if they have time, this is a short 4-minute video, which if you watch on soil conservation, then I think you'll find that it is very relevant to the course which you are doing right now. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We also have just arrived another guest, Dr. Alan Herschel. He is Principal Scientist retired from KASRI and also ex-Vice Chancellor, Agricultural University, Jodhpur. So welcome, and I request you to please come to the front row.
Thank you, Siddharth sir, for your wonderful words. So we are thankful for you for highlighting the important and significant work being done in the area of forestry research by AFRI, and we assure you that the endeavors of AFRI will be constantly done to enhance their effort in this regard. Now I request our Director, Shri M.R. Manoj, to kindly present a shawl to our chief guest as a token of respect, love and gratitude for his presence in this inaugural session as well as for his wonderful speech. As sir has already said earlier that there will be a short film by on soil conservation, so we'll watch that. And I request the dignitaries present on stage to take their seats on the sofa in the front seat.
Dirt is just dirt. Engineers who deal with water management know that there is a lot more to dirt than that. A single raindrop striking the soil can cause a tiny bit of dirt to be displaced, which we call as erosion. And all of these displaced soil particles accumulate to form sediments. It is thus easy to see how a strong downpour can quickly produce a strong torrent of moving rubble that transports large amounts of soil into rivers and streams down the hill. The key to preventing such erosion is stopping detachment of soil particles and reducing speed of runoff. This involves use of erosion control and sediment control, BMPs, or best management practices. When used together, they help ensuring nothing but rain enters our rivers, lakes, or streams. The solution to tackle problem of soil erosion and to stop soil from depositing in rivers, lakes, or streams is to install erosion control products. These could be either fiber rolls or blankets. Blankets are laid over soil and helps to bind it. Blankets also allow vegetation to grow beneath it, thereby allowing roots to stop soil erosion. Fiber rolls stop soil or sediment to flow freely and allow only water to seep through. The use of blankets planks and fiber rolls on steep slopes can help not only to reduce the kinetic energy of flowing water, but also restrict large amounts of sediments to enter into the flowing streams down the hill. Erosion control BMPs are the first line of protection against sediments, but they are not perfect as they fail very often, and therefore it is always good to have a sediment control BMP downstream to ensure that one captures all the runoff and sediments. This type of BMPs are termed by different names such as geotextiles, blankets and mats, and can be made out of various materials. The United States of America has enacted the Clean Water Act to minimize effects of soil erosion on water bodies. India is one of the largest manufacturer of jute fiber, one of the potential raw materials used in the manufacturing of erosion control blankets and fiber rolls. In USA, different types of rolled erosion control products, generally abbreviated as RECPs with standard parameters, have already been established for different slope ratings in their design manual. The strict US law poses a penalty of $2,700 per day, which forces the contractor to use natural fiber blankets and fiber rolls in order to restrict free movement of sediments into nearby rivers, ponds, lakes, etc. India's textile technologists, in tandem with the civil engineering community, need to develop India-specific as well as cost-effective natural fiber-based blankets and fiber rolls, besides creating a design manual for their users and installation to restrict large mineral sediments into Indian rivers, streams and ponds during the downpour, saving enormous amount of government exchequer for clean water management. IJIRA, in collaboration with IIEST Shibpur and MIT Imphal, has proposed in Mission Mode a project under NTTM scheme to bring new technology of stitch bonding for natural fiber to India in order to contribute significantly not only for better infrastructure but also to restrict amount of silt and sediments in Indian rivers and streams on the basic concept of W2W, that is from waste to wealth.
Thank you, sir. So now we have come to an end of this inaugural session. I would now like to request Anita ji, Indian Forest Officer 2010 batch Rajasthan Cadre Officer, to present vote of thanks.
Good morning all. Now it's time to propose the formal vote of thanks at the end of this inaugural session. I, Anita, on behalf of this institute and on behalf of Director AFRI, would like to thank Shri Siddharth, 1983 batch retired IS, our chief guest, who despite having all the urgent works in hand, has spared his valuable time to join us here and accepted our invitation to be the chief guest of this inaugural session of one-week training program of IFS officers. I also thank the participants on the dais, very senior officers, Shri Ashish Bhatt, Shri Samir Rastogi and Shri Roshan Bega sir, and all other participants for the IFS training program. I also thank our resource person, Dr. Alan Harsh and Dr. Ranjana Arya. My thanks are due to Director AFRI, who has been constantly watching and monitoring all the preparations and arrangements for this training program. I also thank the course director of this program and his team and all the committee members, all the staff, scientists, officers who are constantly and tirelessly making efforts to this program successful. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you all.